Today, I just want to give thanks and praises to the Most High for allowing us to cross over into this new season. And I come with a word today, an encouragement, a heavy one, to let you know, beloved, this is your vindication season, okay? The Most High is exonerating you from all the lies, their lying tongues that has been perpetrating false narrative against your ethics and your integrity. You are being exonerated in this season from the shame, accusations, smear campaign, and sabotage that you have gone through in the past. A lot of you have been hanging your heads down low because some really detrimental sabotaging of your character has been smeared through a vicious cycle of campaigns. And these are people who have done you wrong, but have shifted the blame, that have gone out and gathered their flying monkeys and other toxic rivals who would actually sit in cahoots to shift blame on you. A lot of you have suffered at the hands of envious and jealous individuals. And a lot of misfortunes has happened in your life because of these horrible things that has been done to you. But I came by to let you know that this is your vindication season, beloved. I want to tell you or remind you of a story about a young lad in sacred text. He was a Hebrew young man. And this is a historical story that you can find in any Abrahamic religion, sacred texts, including Islam, Christianity, Judaism, or Hebrewism. The story of Joseph, or his Hebrew name, Yahawasap. Now, he had a lot of dreams, and he was well favored among his brothers in the eyes of his father. And one day, Joseph, he talked about this dream that he had, and he had a few, but one dream in particular where the sun, the moon, and the 12 stars bowed to him. And he told his father about this dream. He told his brother. Another time he dreamt that his brothers, their sacks were bowing down to his sack. And so, of course, they were infuriated because they're like, who the heck do you think you are? You know, that spirit of envy got in there. Like, no way. We're not bowing down to you. Well, Yahawasap, he had a call upon his life, and he began to dream. But what happened, because he didn't have the right direction on how to conserve or disclose very deep things such as this, from exposing it into the wrong air, it cost him. But it was all a plan of the Most High for him to go through this, because all of the evil that came upon him was actually a setup for the future, for the call and the position he was being sanctioned into. And so, to make a long story short, his brothers, they plotted his demise. They wanted to take his life, but mercy was upon the elder brother, Reuben. He asked them to just put him down in a pit with hope in mind to come back and to deliver him from out of this pit. But when he was gone, his brothers actually sold him to a caravan of traders. And so he ended up being sold into Egypt as a slave. But even in his low position, Yahawasap still received uncommon favor from the Most High and those who he came in contact with. Even in his master's house, he was well loved. And of course, for those who know the story, after going through a series of just misfortune and hard luck and bad luck, Potiphar's wife, his master's wife, Yahawasap was said to be a very beautiful man. And so she was filled with desire for him. And because he was integral and he had ethics, he didn't want to lie with his master's wife. In fact, he flee from her, and she got rid of all the servants one day so she could have him at her own leisure. But he ran, and what happened when he ran away from this temptation, she was able to snatch his robe, his garment. It was torn, and she used it to show her husband that Yahawasap tried to lie with her, tried to violate her, and so he was placed in the dungeon. And even when he went into the dungeon with this lie, this conspiracy upon his head, I can't even imagine what he felt, all the trauma he went through, being rejected and sold by his own brothers. And now he finds himself in hot water, being lied on, with his reputation being smeared. I could only imagine the trauma and PTSD, CPTSD he was going through. But even in the dungeon, the Most High still had his hands upon this young man. And the soldiers, the prison keepers, they favored him, and they put him in charge of the other prisoners. And he was able to interpret the dreams of two of the prisoners who were sad one morning, and they shared the dream, and he told them what was going to happen to each one of them. And so he told one of the fellas, when you get back into your position, the cupbearer, please remember me. But Pharaoh's cupbearer quickly forgot about Yahawasap. Now, I believe it was the Almighty's will that he forgot, because it wasn't his time to shine or to be in his position yet. Sometimes we just have to go through a process to prepare us for this big thing the Almighty has destined for our lives to come into fruition. And so it happened sometime later that Pharaoh had this dream, and it was troubling, and no one could interpret that dream. And finally the cupbearer said, there's a Hebrew guy. He was in the prison, the dungeon with me, and he could interpret. He interpreted everything that happened to me and the baker, that I would be restored and that the baker head would be taken away from him, from the birds. And so it was. And so Pharaoh sent for this guy. He sent for Joseph, and Joseph came, and he, through the mercy and the knowledge of the Most High, was able to interpret this dream fully. And it left such an impact that Pharaoh placed Joseph second in command in Egypt. Okay? Now I'm telling this story for a reason, because I want you to know this is your exonerated season. You have gone through hell and back. And honey, some people have done some messy things to you. You have been employed on jobs where you've been lied on, and you were removed from that job without them even asking your side of the story. You have been kicked out of communities or friendship cycles or circles because of fabrication of your true nature, and people gobbled it up without hearing your side of the story. They chose to believe the lies. Some of you have been imprisoned, like Joseph, for a lie that someone told on you. Some of you have had losses of opportunities because someone decided to sabotage you. But I'm telling this story because this is the most profound story in history to confirm your restoration and vindication season is here, beloved. My sweet baby, let me tell you, all the bad that has happened in your life has been preparing you for this time and this place. And your preparation season was never wasted time. I know you cried, and I know they took away your voice to speak up for yourself. But you don't have to do anything, beloved. The Most High is speaking up for you. He's exonerating you. Now let me get to the point of this story. please move on to part 2.